Hey everybody, Michelle here from Gardening TLC, and we are getting ready to fill up 2 more great big urns. They are at the entrances to the garden center. I have one at each door. They're big cement pots, and this year I got tree toppers to put in them. So if you've never done a pot with a tree topper, today I'm going to show you how to create a wonderful looking pot with different kinds of greens, that tree topper, and just make this very festive entrance to the store. So come along today, let's go check it out. As we approach the store, you can see that I did lay a bunch of greens out so that I'm ready to go. This is one of the urns that we're going to fill. Earlier in the year, you can see right there, that's where it was sitting. And we move it underneath the door and underneath the eave so it's a little more protected in the winter. Now, I have had this obelisk in here for the last couple of plantings. We're actually going to take that out and we're going to use what's called a Christmas tree topper in its place. We're going to add some really festive bows and we're going to use all natural products. I'll go over all of them in just a second. Here's the first pot that we're going to do. And then if we walk down to the other entrance, I do have a shopping cart here full of greens that we're going to use. I have another pot just like it right here at the other entrance. So this is the second entrance, and we do like a little porch scene up in here, and it leads you into the glass greenhouse, see, which is right here. And inside that glass greenhouse is our Christmas Walk of Lights. This is our 11th year doing the Christmas Walk of Lights, so I'll show you that in another video, so stay tuned for that. But we just create this nice welcoming entrance as you come in. Believe it or not, this furniture, I picked it up at an estate sale. I know, $20. Isn't that awesome? And then we just threw some blankets and some pillows on it. We flanked it with some pots and filled them with greens, did up some pretty lanterns with bows, greens, and some candles, added some shatterproof bulbs, and created this nice, warm, festive scene in here. Put some garland on the window. I just think this is such a nice approach to the store. All right, but now that that's done, I do need to get my 2 pots done that lead into the garden center. So let's get started and let's go over the greens that I chose that we're going to put in these pots. I actually have quite a love affair with different greens, and I love the different textures and the colors and the lengths and the shapes. I just love greens. Now, the main green that I'm going to be using in my pots, though, is a Fraser fir. We use Fraser fir here up in Zone 5 because it has serious staying power as far as how long it'll hold on through the winter. So most of my pot is going to be the Fraser fir. And then everything else that I use, it's going to be an accent green that's going to add color, texture, shape, form, just to make my pot look really super cool. All right, other greens that I like to use are pine. I like white pine, princess pine, but I love those long needles. I like to use the tips because you get this nice end piece on there, so we'll bring these in. These are absolutely gorgeous, and I like them because they're not crazy expensive. So usually you can find white pine in your own yard as well, and you can use this in your pots. Now, what I find is white pine typically, though, is that green that turns brown the fastest, but this pot will freeze, and all I have to do once they turn brown is just clip them out. It doesn't take away from my pot because this will still last probably until the end of January. Another green that I really like is a western green. This is Port Orford cedar, and it's long and it's strappy and it's absolutely gorgeous. Just look at that. So we're going to be blending this in to kind of create that draping quality that we're looking for in a big urn like this, because I want this pot to look good all the way around, because you see it coming to the garden center and then you see it when you leave the garden center, so you're viewing it from all sides. So this is a nice green to create that drape. All right, another one that I use that's really easy to find, and you could actually just buy a Christmas tree or go to a Christmas tree lot and ask them for the scraps that they cut off the bottom of a tree. This is a Douglas, and a Douglas has a really long, soft, kind of a lighter green to it, but again, it's that nice long branch that you can get. These are really nice to use in your pots as well. So if you can't find it, you can always strip down a Christmas tree. Now, doing a pot like this, you certainly don't have to have as many greens as I do. I just like the variety of it. 2 or 3 greens are still really nice in a pot. The next greens that I'm going to use are southern greens, and oh, I love southern greens. And for me, I have to spray these with Wilt Stop, and I'll show you what that is in just a little bit. But we are going to be putting some southern magnolia in here. I love it. I love the glossy green leaf here and the brown leaf on the back. It's absolutely gorgeous. I also really like this one here. It's called Carolina Sapphire. It kind of has a blue-green needle. It's short. It's got little berries on it. It smells really good, and it's got this really nice soft needle on it. And again, it has a vertical structure to it or a little bit of a draping quality. So nice versatile green. And then I also like to use Oregonia or variegated boxwood. Now this is a florist green that we bring in. We use this when we're doing florals in the winter, but it's great in pots as well. Other greens that I bring in, and this is another florist green. This one is the eucalyptus that I was talking about. See, the naked. It only has the berries, so it doesn't have any of the leaves on it. I love to put this, just a smidgen of it scattered throughout my pot. Really super pretty. And then we have some winterberry. Now these I picked off of my shrub that I have at my house. So I only have 4 branches, that's it. And I saved them just so I could use them in these pots right here. But you can grow winterberry, and you have to have 1 male to every 4 females. Usually a good male is a Jim Dandy. And then, oh, this is an American holly. And so it's deciduous, it loses its leaves, but then it produces these beautiful red berries. And you can pick some of the branches, use them in your winter pots. So I like this in my winter landscape as well. All right, I also have some really big pine cones. So these are big Austrian pine cones. We bring these in. Yeah, I can't find anything like this growing this big here, but we order them in and we like to use them in big pots like this. And then I have my tree topper. So this is my tree topper right here, and I can bring in different lengths. And usually what happens is a lot of times the bottom of the tree is kind of scraggly looking. And what I'll do is I'll clip out all these bottom branches, give it a fresh cut here, and then I'm gonna center this in the pot so it looks like a little Christmas tree inside my pot. So this is a Black Hill spruce, and that's what most tree toppers around here are. But it's got a really short needle on it, and it has this really nice shape so that when you create the pot, it's really neat as your centerpiece. The other thing I did save was, as I was trimming other tree toppers, because I made a bunch of pots that I have to take out and put at my businesses that are my customers, I trimmed off a lot of these branches and then I saved them because then I can blend this throughout my pot as well. So I have quite a few of these that I saved that I can use. So whether you're foraging around your own yard or you're buying your greens from a garden center or a box store, you can get a pretty decent variety and blend those together in a pot to make a really pretty creation. So let's get started. Now I do know that I don't want this obelisk in here anymore, for now anyway, so I'm gonna take it out. It has certainly served its purpose and been absolutely beautiful in the pot. And I probably will put it back in the spring because I love it in there. But because we're using the tree topper as our centerpiece, this just doesn't go. I want both of my tree toppers to be about the same size. So what I do is I'm gonna trim them both at the same time. I always clean up all these bottom branches down here. And so basically I just go through and I clip all of those off. And I'm gonna go up a little ways because I am gonna give this a fresh cut as well. Now I am gonna hold them up together. That way, yep, I know that they're gonna be about the same size. So on this one here, I still gotta trim off a few more. All right, there it is right there. And then I've got this one. And this one's a little more sparse than this one. But I can use those side branches and run them up along the edge of this to thicken this up if I need to. So now that I've got this here, I want to give it a fresh cut at the bottom. So I laid them out on a garbage can, and then I'm just going to cut the bottoms so that they're the same length. I have laid all of my greens out so that they're ready to go. All I have to do now is just insert them one at a time and create my pot. So I like to prep everything first and get it ready to go into the pot. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take my tree topper right there and I'm going to insert it in the center of the pot. I'm going to thicken it up and I'm going to use some of the branches right here that I trimmed off the bottom. Then I like to go from the outside in. So I will do my drapey branches right here. I will use the Douglas fir and the Port Orford cedar to create my drapey look. Then I'll fill it in with some of the Fraser fir because that's my main green. And then I'll filter some of the other greens through it to create texture and differences. All right, so are you ready? Let's do this. Okay, guys, there it is in all its glory. I think it turned out really nice. I love all the different greens in here. Now, you certainly wouldn't have to put this many greens in, but I love blending the different greens, and I love the Christmas tree topper in there. Isn't that so sweet as a centerpiece? So sometimes I like to use branches as a centerpiece, but a lot of times I think this just looks so good in a big pot, and it's proportionate to what it is that you're doing. Let's go look at the other one. Put our tree topper in first and then started from the outside and worked our way in. We started with the Douglas fir. I cut those a little bit smaller and then ran those around the outside edge. I added the Port Orford kind of in between all of those. And then I used the bottom branches that I pruned off the topper. These are the Black Hills spruce. And I ended up weaving some of those in there as well. Then I went the next layer in and I filled it in with our main green, the Fraser fir. So a lot of Fraser fir in the middle that'll be nice and green. It's our staying power that we need in there. And then I just wove in the Carolina sapphire and the white pine. And then we added some of the naked eucalyptus and that Oregonia. Look at my hands. They're horrible. All right. And then we added some of that beautiful variegated Oregonia. I put in 2 sprigs. I wish I had more, but I only had the 4 sprigs that I saved of the winterberry. So hopefully next year when I plant some more shrubs, I'll be able to have some more winterberries that I can, you know, add to my collection here. Then we added the big Austrian pines, and I decided to go with this beautiful red and green tartan bowl. We put that in there as well. So overall, I think this thing is gorgeous. I love it. Now you can do this certainly on a smaller scale too. Here's one that I made earlier today. This one's for sale. But you can see I did this one with a smaller tree topper in a smaller pot. So it doesn't have to be as grand as this one. It doesn't have as many greens in it, but it looks just as nice. So I love that this is the entrance to the store and everybody gets to see it. I love the way these pots turned out. Oh my gosh, they're so good looking. All right, so the sun has gone down and it's kind of time for me to go home now. We will not be posting a video on Thursday, Thanksgiving, so happy Thanksgiving to everybody. I do have a sale that's starting on Friday though. We're gonna run it from Black Friday through Cyber Monday. So it's gonna be Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. We are gonna be having 25% off everything in our Shopify store. So make sure you check that out. Some great gardening gifts in there. Our zinnia packets for 2025, the custom blend that I put together is in there. We also have some great gift boxes in there and some t-shirts for Gardening TLC, some mugs. Make sure you check that out. Find the perfect gardening gift for somebody in your gardening life. Again, 25% off Shopify right there. Check it out. Make sure you don't miss that sale. We have one last thing to do to our pots, and that's spray it. The last thing I have to do is spray everything with Wilt Stop. This is made with a pine resin, and what it's gonna do is it's gonna coat the leaves and the needles and hold the moisture in so that they stay fresher longer through the winter. I mean, we can get to minus 20 degrees here. That's really cold. These southern greens without this will not last, for me anyways. I tried this a couple years ago and it worked really great. When you spray, you wanna make sure you coat the top and the bottom. Usually my pots will hang on all winter long and I don't have to change them out until March. So I'll show you again in March what they look like so you can see how well this product actually works. I have a link for it right here if you can't find it where you live, but usually you can find it at a garden center or a box store. It's from Bonide. It works really well. Okay, so you don't need to see me spray them all, but that's basically how you do it. I hope you enjoyed today's video. I hope you guys have a great Thanksgiving. I hope you get a chance to make a great porch pot that you can enjoy all winter long. And I hope today's video was helpful. I'm Michelle. We'll catch you in the next video. Bye, everybody.